Hey everyone, what's up? Yeah, it is January 7th, 2018. Thought I'd do double duty here for a second and give you guys a bit of a channel update before I talk about a few topics on my mind. Um, but anyway, getting the channel update. Today is the last day of my mom's vacation from work, her 2 weeks vacation, as well as it's the last one for a lot of the students um, in the areas Patterson, Newman, Modesto, you know, because basically they go back to school starting tomorrow, at least a majority of them. And what that means for me is things kind of get a little bit back to normal. What that means, I'm finally going to be able to get back to doing my videos a little bit more stably, not have to work around certain things. I mean, I'll still be doing like videos during lunch or something like that on my 8 hour, 7 hour days. That's common. But excuse me. But that's going to be if I ate and something during break, and if I ate during break, kind of filled myself up during break, then I won't have to worry too much during lunch to eat something. But I'll probably eat something afterwards because I like to try to get this channel as much content as I can, and that's always my plan to give you guys as much content as I can, just like anybody else. Um, but yeah, starting tomorrow, things are gonna start getting sort of back to normal. Excuse me, there, and then as the weeks go on, we should find out more. Like I'm guessing a week from Tuesday or so, uh, my mom my mom's Bible study is gonna start up again, and then on top of that, my mom's gonna be going to school. So that gives me some additional time during the evening to maybe have the place to myself, do some videos, stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna be doing so yeah, things are gonna get back to normal and things might be a little bit more spaced out for me in a sense. Another reason I say that is because my schedule kind of changes up in the next week or so. What happens is right now, this upcoming week, I'm getting the 33-hour treatment, which is perfectly fine with me. Um, but what's going to be happening starting next week, according to what one of my managers told me, is the new system. The new system we have in place. Um, the new system we have in place, schedule that does the schedules and stuff. Despite what our assistant managers who are in charge of each area in the store will say, this new system gives you an additional day or two off. Now, it's understandable since this is after the holidays, it's a downtime. Not much is going to be picking up, except maybe as we get close to the Super Bowl and Valentine's Day. And that's about it. But like I said, my schedule is going to switch up a little bit to where next week I have 2 days off in a row. I won't just have my Thursday, but I'll have the day before, which will be Wednesday. And then the following week, I'll have a Thursday and a Friday. So, I have plenty of time to myself to, um, kind of like I said, give more content, kind of take care of things. Finally, do some package openings if I can get to those in the future. One of the packages I do want to get, if I can't get it at my store, because right now it's been reduced to $50. is the C Questia Cantalot set. It's a big set, it's $50 now, 65.99 on Amazon and other places. So hopefully, if I can get it either way, I'll show that off and try to set that up. I have an idea of where I want to put it, but I need to organize that area first and make sure I have plenty of room to do it. Um, but yeah, that's what's going. So yeah, channel wise, that's what's going on. Of course, this upcoming week I will be getting the MLP movie on Blu-ray officially. So as I said before, I'll be contributing not just by going to see it in the theaters, but by buying the Blu-ray as well. So, I mean, yes, I do have the movie technically on DVD thanks to the leak, thanks to the torrent that had the leak, but um, I'm going to be able to actually get it this upcoming week. I have a gift card that I've been saving since Christmas to probably get the movie, maybe get the Cantalot set or whatever, as we speak, when the time comes. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. As you probably have also noticed, I have fulfilled one of my promises that I want to continue try doing. I want to continue to try doing this week, and that is, um, I want not this week, but this year, I should say, and that is make some PMVs, which can be PMV, which is short for picture music video, or in the case of MLP, pony music video. And I did one just this morning, or actually last night. It rendered. And it's rendered to the point that it was done in 4K. What I have is the CyberLink Power Director program, and it allows you the choice to render and create videos in 4K. So I rendered it in 4K at 60 frames per second. Now, initially, if you're using a Microsoft Edge, maybe Internet Explorer or something, it's gonna say 1080p 60 frames, 1080p 1080 60, 1080p 60 frames, but it was rendered in 4K. It was created in 4K. The reason it says that because they don't have no diagram telling you, that it. I mean, I mean, they do show you that it's a 4K if it's initial 4K, but because of maybe the browser you're using, um, it ends up being um, shown as 1080, but it was rendered in 4K. That's a fact. Um, another, so I did finally get that going. I did get some certain videos up, hopefully, and you guys have enjoyed them because I know honestly, I'm not the only one that does those certain videos doing that done during the holidays, if you know what I mean. Of course, I'm talking family videos, whatever. So I know I'm not the only one. But anyway, like I said, things are gonna start getting back to normal around here starting tomorrow. It might stay, it might, and like I said, and now honestly, it will kind of be a bit of the same next week because it's a 3-day holiday, from what I understand, a 3-day weekend, holiday. So we'll just have to work around that. But yeah, it's gonna be initially things are initially gonna get back to normal around here. Um, But that's all I could say on the channel update portion of this video. I want to talk about some things that are on my mind right now, some topics that have been discussed um, around here. And one of the things I want to talk about, first of all, is as of this weekend, we are now in the NFL playoffs. And as we saw yesterday, two teams that hosted the playoffs at home lost. Like I said, two teams yesterday lost. So if that doesn't tell you these playoffs are rigged or predetermined, I don't know what does. Yeah. Oh, what is it? Be right back. Sorry about that. Don't you just hate that when people interrupt you doing things? Anyway, like I was saying, the playoffs to me are just rigged this year. I mean, Kansas City, and it's predetermined. I mean, come on, I think sports is pretty much certain sports. They could still be real, still be authentic, but I think when it comes to certain times of the year, like playoffs, they become predetermined. They become like wrestling, if you will. They basically allow teams that they. I mean, come on, if you don't, I mean, listen to the announcers, how they talk up certain teams as soon as they start kind of making progress and playing them up and saying this and that about a certain player. I mean, come on, honestly. It's like who are they trying to kid? Once they start talking up a team and a player and all that, you pretty much know that team's gonna win. So if I'm the NFL, honestly, if I don't want to deal with any backlash in the future, I stop this predetermined crap. I stop this predeterminedness, this rigness. I stop it, bring it to an end because this is getting ridiculous. I mean, the Chiefs having a meltdown yesterday. I mean, nothing against the Titans. Titans played a good game, but Chiefs having a meltdown the way they did doesn't make sense. The Rams losing the way they did at home, first playoff game in Los Angeles in what decades? I mean, come on, it doesn't make sense either way. It doesn't. doesn't make sense either way. So if I'm so if I'm the NFL, I prevent this from happening. Because let's be honest, today we got two games: Buffalo, Jacksonville, Carolina, New Orleans. If the if the announcers start talking up one of those teams, then you know the team they talk up the most, as well as along with the players they talk up the most about, then you will know that team's going to win. It's a dead giveaway. If the announcers start talking highly about Drew Brees and New Orleans are going to win. If they start talk highly about Buffalo and how they're doing, Buffalo's going to win. The point is, I'm gonna. Mm, yeah, that's my mom. She's half awake right now, so I apologize for that. But anyway, it's like if you start hearing these people get talked up a lot, then you know for a fact, these teams and these players, they get talked up a lot today, that team's most likely going to win. So if you're in Jacksonville right now, guys, if they start talking highly about Buffalo, then you know Buffalo's going to win. If they start talking highly about your team, you know your team's going to win. And those in New Orleans, if they start talking highly about your team and Drew Brees, your team wins. If they start talking highly about Carolina, you know Carolina wins. I'm just saying, it's just too obvious to me that seems to be the direction they're going in. And I apologize for the vacuum there. But yeah, it seems that that's the direction they're going in. But with that said, again, like I said, it just seems to be the direction they're going in when they do that. So just be prepared. I could be wrong. Maybe they'll prove me wrong today, but it just seems too obvious to me that that's what they do. That's the direction they're going to go in. If they talk about New Orleans highly, New Orleans is winning, they're advancing. If they talk about Carolina highly, same thing there. Buffalo, you get the idea. So just be prepared. That's all I'm saying. Just, like I said, just be prepared. That's all I'm saying. Um, what else? Oh yeah. Speaking of football, the college football playoffs. I asked the select lady a question. Hopefully he'll answer it. But my honest opinion, and I told him this. I said, because I think this is something the college playoff system has to fix. This is something the college football playoff system has to fix, and that is if you're going to do just four teams, don't use bowl games as semifinal places. It's places for the semifinals. Take a page out of the FCS and use the home field of the highest ranked seeded teams to do the semifinals in, and then go to the site the national championship with the winners to meet there. And then you know what? As a constellation, allow those that don't win to get into one of the New Year's 6-day bowl games. It makes sense. I mean, again, now like I said before, I understand the prestige of Rose Bowl champion versus Sugar Bowl champion. Big whoop. big whoop. Okay, but to me, it kind of disrespects the bowl game. That you're just going to use it as a stepping stone to the national championship. Sorry about that. Sorry, my toe hit the thing there. But you're just going to use it as a stepping stone to the national championship. It's disrespectful. That's what it is. And to me, it needs to stop. It needs to. Um, it needs to stop. It needs to come to an end. Is what it needs to do. I mean, you can keep the college football playoff system fine, but honestly, don't use bowl games, the elite bowl games, as semifinals, as stepping stones. Instead, take a page out of the FCS and use the home field of the highest ranked seeded teams to do it. It makes more sense. It makes more sense, and it opens the door for one bowl game for more teams that should be eligible and are eligible for the New Year's Six bowl games to get in. As well as you can, like I say, you can use one of the other bowl games as a constellation for the teams that don't get to the national championship. I'm just saying, to me, it makes more sense. It makes more sense. And I'm not, and again, I have nothing against the playoff system. I think it's a good one, but I think it's all right. But I think they need to fix a few things here and there. And I think one of the things they need to fix is having home field advantage for the highest ranked seed teams. That's what they need to do. All right. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about Animaniacs. Yes, Animaniacs is, as all of you know, is getting a revival. In case some of you know, it's getting a revival. They getting a revival exclusively on Hulu, and it's going to get a two. It's been ordered for 2 seasons. It's going to come out around 2019, 2020, around that time frame, and it's kind of a reboot, maybe a continuation. I'm not really sure, but yeah, the Animaniacs are coming back, and hopefully they'll bring back all the characters, as well as some new ones. And Steven Spielberg's going to be executive producer behind it, so that's good. And you can only imagine what other antics and adventures and stories they're going to be able to tell out of this. And with them being on Hulu, they got more leeway than being like on syndication or broadcast or network television, stuff like that. So they'll have a little bit more leeway. And by them having a little bit more leeway, they'll be able to do things they'll be able to get away with a little bit more than they were able to get away with in the original run. Heck, if they're going to bring back Minerva Mink, which would be an obvious character to bring back, they gotta have her do her melting gag. Honestly, they gotta have Minerva Mink do the melting gag. If you're going to give Minerva Mink maybe one, two, three shorts, perhaps, maybe one, two, three cartoon shorts, whatever they're going to give her, then she's got to do the melting gag, and they got to turn it up a notch when it comes to a gag like that. They had her get wrung out like a towel. They had her reform like a boat horn. And said they had her reform as a boat horn. stuff like that. You need to take it into another level. I think what they need to do is they need to have her. Sorry about that. Like I said, what they need to do is if they're gonna have her do that gag again, if she makes an appearance, which would, like I say, would be crazy if they don't bring her back. She needs to be brought back. They need to have her seep into the. They need to have her do the melting gag, and have her seep into the ground as she melts. And then one of the wild takes is just have her just rise up like a plant. Just seep into the ground and then rise up like a flower or something like that. That'd be tremendous. I mean, I can't think of any other kind of way you would be able to, do that gag again with her without thinking of something different. And I think something like that would work. Um, Heck, you can even have her melt and evaporate and then evaporate into a cloud and then rain down. Basically, that's the way she reforms. So that'd be cool too. So yeah, they're gonna, but yeah, if they're gonna bring back characters like Minerva and Slappy and all them, they need to take what they've done before and turn it up a notch. They need to take the gags they've been associated with, turn it up a notch. Slappy, oh man, if you're gonna bring Slappy Squirrel back as a part of this, you really need to up the ante with her. You need to really get her as crazy, as violent, if you will. Well, not as violent, but basically as crazy, old school violent, kind of like than she ever was. I mean, it has to happen. And the Warners, all three of them, keep them the same, but you gotta up their game as well. So, and and this is going to be um this is going to be in continuity with the original run, then you need to kind of tell why we haven't seen them in a while. So, um, but yeah, it needs to. It, but yeah, they need to do this. They need to up the ante. They need to up the stakes. And what's funny is part of this deal is everything related to Animaniacs, from the Animaniacs show and Wacko's Wish, along with Tiny Toons, as well as Tiny Toons How I Spent My Summer Vacation, or How I Spent My Vacation, Spring Break, Net Goolery, and I think Wonderful Tiny Toon Christmas are all on Hulu. Pinky and the Brain is on Hulu. Pinky the Brain and Elmira is on Hulu. So anything related and associated with Animaniacs is on Hulu as of right now because of this new deal. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Animaniacs. But like I said, if you're going to bring all these characters back from the Warners to Minerva to Slappy, you need to up the games. You need to up the eggs that they're associated with to another level. Like I said with Minerva, if you're going to have her do another melting, if you're going to have her do the melting gag when she goes crazy for a hunk or whatever, then you need to up that ante a little bit more. My suggestions would be have her seep into the ground and then grow into a flower, and then she pops out of that, or melts, evaporates, turns into a cloud, because of the evaporation, and then rains down back to normal. It makes sense. So, or nonsense, if you will. Um, Sorry about that. But like I said, it makes sense, if not, well, nonsense. But this also opens the door. This opens the door for possible other revivals of shows like Animaniacs. Like I mentioned, Tiny Toons, Pinky and the Brain. Tiny Toons really would be a great revival, reboot, kind of continue things off maybe where the series left off. So it'd be great to see Tiny Toons get revived. but we'll have to wait and see what they do there. Like I said, we'll have to wait and see what they do there. Um, but yeah, Animaniacs is coming back on Hulu, and can't wait to see what they do with it. One last thing, MLP. Here's the question. Here's a topic that gets asked a lot, but why? Why are folks still kind of not weirded out, but kind of like left in wonderment, left in like kind of inquiredness when it comes to people like me being fans? Why is that? Is it because it's a show originally aimed at little girls, most if not little boys? Perhaps. But I think what it is, honestly, is when you take a look at some of the stuff that's on broadcast network television and cable network television, and even on the streaming services, there's not that many shows that you can just sit around and enjoy with your family. That even if it's originally meant for younger kids, a younger generation, that the adults themselves can get a kick out of it. And that sometimes the morals, the lessons, the themes, the story arcs could basically go over the head of the established audience or the intended audience. And I think that's where grown-ups like me come in, because when we sit down and we watch these episodes, we watch these story arcs, listen to these morals and these lessons. We get it. We get it right off the bat because it may go over the head of the younger generation, but we get it. And I think, in a sense, Hasbro acknowledges that, because with Generation 5 now coming around, possibly around 2020, maybe later, we don't really know. The word going around is it's supposed to be aimed at that audience of the Steven Universe kind, like that TV PG audience. And, if that's the case, then, well, that's great. And with the fact that they're going to make Generation 5 more expanded, as far as the races of races of ponies and races of other creatures and characters, and the fact that they're going to be divided by planets, and the main six, in a sense, are going to be race wise switched around. um it's going to be interesting to see how people now that kind of find it a little weird are still wondering, still in a inquirement as to why adults like me are fans. You're gonna I think when Generation 5 comes around and it's done by the same people that are doing this series, I think they're gonna have a better understanding, because it's like the old saying goes. It's like an old saying goes, as we grow up, certain things gotta grow up with us. And well, if we're gonna grow up, why not have shows that we like grow up with us? I look at Transformers, and right now on Go 90, they have Transformers, the Prime Wars trilogy, and right now the current chapter is the Titans one. And this is more of a mature version of Transformers. Characters die, stuff, but they all have a Generation 1 look, or a semi-Generation 1 look. So it shows you that I grew up on, because it shows you that Transformers has grown up with the fan base. I grew up on Transformers back from the 80s. So for me to see it evolve into what it has now, um, it says a lot. And you know, the same could be said for MLP. Even right now, the show's been going on what, almost a decade now, so you could tell in a sense that some of the seasons that the show is growing up with the fan base. It's growing up not just with the adult fans, but with the fans that started out as kids and now going into the teen years and adult years themselves. So it's growing up with them as well. You could see that change, gradually happen even within the series itself right now, the current series. So, for us, for those that are wondering, you know, like why, for for those that, still wonder why, still kind of amazed and in wonderment as to, why adults like a show like this. Well, I think because when you take a look at a lot of stuff that's out there, like I said, there's not much out there that families can enjoy and can appeal to families of all ages, and this does. And there's not many shows out there that grow up with its fan base. Not many franchises that grow up with its fan base. This has, and this current generation, this current run has. And I think that's how we got to look at it. We got to look at it the fact that it's grown up with us. It's grown up with the kids that are now in their teens, maybe young adult years. It's grown up with the adults themselves that have become fans, and you could see that. You can see that it's grown up. You can see that it's grown up with the fans. Yes, you can see that, like I said, even with the current series. So it's no wonder why the word going around that the next generation is going to be more of that, more of a show targeted at the adolescents, the young adults, the teens, just like Steven Universe is. So, so yeah, you still have to wonder, but yeah, people, but yeah, but yeah, folks still wonder. Well, I don't think you should wonder anymore because people are going to like what they're going to like. No questions asked. And like I said, I think when you take a look at other shows like other Hasbro or franchises, other kind of franchises out there, they have grown up with the fan base, and the fan base has grown up with them. So, and that's what MLP is doing. It's growing up, even currently as we speak. So you can only imagine what the new generation is going to be like, especially with the ideas that they have in store for the series. So, but yeah, that's really all I can say on that. And that's really all I'm going to say for today, for the channel update, and for these topics that are on my mind. Let me know what you guys all think down below. Thank you all for watching live. Thank you all for watching post live after it's already been uploaded. Let me know what you all think. Comment down below. I'd like to hear from you guys. And I will talk to you all later. God bless. Take care.